Everyone, and welcome to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by W.GG, the energy drink for gamers, and by Eldridge Air Conditioning. Excuse me, started already. We're here with the Saturday League in the GR3s or Group 3s, whichever way you want to say it, and we are at round 8 of 10, so we are fast approaching the end of this what has been a great season, and we have come over to Austria at the Spielberg Red Bull Ring, the ring of penalties, as I like to call it, because that is all that this track seems to dish out is penalties. But we'll see how these guys get on. There's some very, very fast drivers on track, as we've seen in the previous round. So I'm sure the Red Bull Ring is nothing for them to fear. So without further ado, we'll crack on with this race. We're going to have a look down the grid. Nearly forgotten what button to press then. We're going to have a look down the grid. And we'll talk about tyres, etc., as we go through the race. But let's crack on with it. And Stormfly puts himself on pole position. Osman is in second. Then we've got Smith in third. Unforgiven is fourth. Fitzy is fifth. Grasshopper sixth. Phaser is seventh. Brian the Mechanic is eighth. Rufus ninth. Stealth is in 10th. Ninky 11th. And Sid the Sloth is in 12th. So let's get back up to the top. It is a rolling start, so we'll get the guys underway. Now, Red Bull Ring, 2.6 miles, 10 turns, and as I've already said, it is the ring of penalties. It just seems like they're just handed out for fun, but we will see how these guys get on around here as we head down towards turn 1 at Niki Lauda Curve. Then we've got this very long run up towards turn 3 with a little bit of a kink in the road for turn 2 along the way as Stormfly takes us up there. He's coming under attack from Osman already. Stormfly on the inside though. Osman around the outside as they get into turn 3 at Remus. Stormfly a little twitch from that McLaren, but manages to hold on to it as Osman goes on the attack again. And already he's setting his stall out, isn't he? Osman wants this one. He has got his nose in front, so maybe the Genesis has just got a little bit too many beans for that McLaren, but the McLaren is an all-round good car, so it is going to be pretty competitive through the turns as Osman just manages to keep his nose in front as we come through launch at turn 6. Side by side, fantastic racing already, and we've not even looked down what's happening at the rest of the pack. I'm just going to stick with these two guys for the next few turns. So around turn 7 and 8 they go. Osman manages to make that move stick and keep his nose in front, although Smith has now decided he wants to have a look and have a play in this little game they've got going. Osman though, through turn 9, I've lost where I am. It's such good racing already. So Osman from turns 9 and 10. We're going to have a look down the pack now as Osman takes us across the line as leader of this race. Stormfly in second, then Smith in third. Unforgiven in fourth, Fitzy, Phaser, Brian the Mechanic, Rufus in 8th, Stealth in 9th, Ninky, Sid in 11th, oh, with Grasshopper down in 12th, so I'm not sure what happened to Grasshopper, but he's now got some ground to make up as he makes a move on Sid as they head up through turn 2. And it's side by side, it's Supra against the NSX into turn 3. Sid is on the inside, so Grasshopper just has to ease off, but looks at getting the better exit, which he does, and pushes himself through to P11. So good racing from Grasshopper. He just a little bit earlier on the brakes and looked at getting a decent exit, which he did. So back up to the sharp end then. Osman still out in front, got probably a car length in, maybe 2 car lengths gap between himself and Stormfly in second. Now there is a battle raging just behind them as Unforgiven just manages to get ahead of Smith, but Smith is fighting back now as they come up towards turn 8 at Rin, and Unforgiven just managing to stay in front. Now, as I've said about the penalties on this one, it doesn't look like anybody's picked any up, so it's either they're switched off or everybody's behaving themselves. We shall see as Smith goes up the inside at turn 1. Unforgiven though, just shutting the door on him there. Maybe Smith just eased off, didn't quite fancy it. Probably a wise thing to do. A lot coming together there at turn 1. Turn 3 as well seems to throw up a few incidents because it's such a sharp right-hander, and very easy to lose the back end if you get a bit too eager with the noisy pedal as you exit turn 3. And you could just see in the background there, I think it was by the mechanic, big twitch coming from that Porsche of his as he came on the exit of turn 3. But Bryce sitting in 7th, just behind Phaser. Then we've got Rufus in the BMW, I think that's the Sprint model, in 8th. Ninky in 9th in another Porsche with Grasshopper, and Stealth now down in 11th with Sid in 12th. So Stealth in another Porsche. So good showing of Porsches in this league. But Osman looking to extend his lead. He's on the racing softs now. I was going to check up on the tyres, and I think it's softs and mediums have got to be used in at least one race. So we'll say that mediums have got to be used in one race, because obviously everybody's going to opt for the softs given the choice. And in this first race, and we'll probably find quite a few of them on the softs. In fact, we will have a look. Osman, Stormfly, Unforgiven, going down the pack. Yeah, everybody going for softs in this first race, as we see Stormfly having a right good sniff of the rear end of that Genesis as they head down towards turn 4 at Slosh Gold. Let's jump on board with Stormfly. We can see Unforgiven approaching quickly. This is another tricky turn. It's quite sharp actually. It doesn't look it on the track map, but it is quite a sharp turn, and can make or break your lap, that one. Now into turn 6, which is launch. Down the hill into turn 7. Very narrow, the exits of these turns, as you can see, so you have to use as much curb as you possibly can. Through the penalty zone. Down the hill again now towards turn 9, which is Rint. Again, very narrow, and this is where the penalties are handed out. And into turn 10, again, very narrow on the exit. Power down and across the line to start lap 5. We are 6 minutes in. Looking out the back of the McLaren of Stormfly, then we can see Unforgiven chasing us down. We've got Smith just in the background there, and Osman just up ahead, just out of reach at the minute. We'll just stick with Stormfly as we go through turn 2 and then up to turn 3. And you can see that you really do catch up, but then it's on the exit. If you can get a good exit, then again it can make or break your lap. A bad exit and you're going to lose touch of the car in front. But that was pretty much a lap with Stormfly chasing Osman down. Unforgiven now, he's made up some ground, hasn't he? And he is right on the back of Stormfly now. So Unforgiven in the GTR having a great race so far. I know we're only 5 laps in, but seems to be doing well. He enjoys this track, I think. And it certainly shows. Got himself up on the podium already. Smith in 4. Oh, he thought, well, the penalties are starting to be dished out now. So Smith has picked up the first one, I think. And it's only half a second, but it's a penalty nevertheless. So Smith just managing to hold on to 4th, I think. Fitzy is going to get a little bit closer to him, but not close enough. Oh, as Smith gone wide again there at turn 9, sorry. Yeah, he did, and Fitzy followed him as well. So yeah, now the penalties are starting to come fast and furious. So both Smith just got rid of a penalty and then picked another one up, and Fitzy then followed him through, and he's picked up half a second as well. Ryder Mechanic in 6. Oh, again, that looked very close to pushing the track limits, and yeah, there's another one at turn 1. So Brian the Mechanic's picked a penalty up as well now. So the guys settling into this race, and starting to pick the penalties up. Fazer sitting in 7th. He'll be encouraged by that actually. He'll see that Brian the Mechanic's got that half second. So Fazer just needs to push that a little bit harder, get a little bit closer to Bry, and he'll be able to take that P6 away. He's just got to get a little bit closer. I mean, it's only half a second, and these cars do regain speed quite quickly, especially if you can go down the gears and back up again quick. You know, as you approach that penalty zone, a lot of guys just drop it down a gear in anticipation. I should spit it out in a minute. Of getting back on the power, and you can see the bar filling up above Brian the Mechanic's car. So we'll just stick with Fazer just to see if he can make the move, and I don't think he's close enough. I think he lost a bit of ground actually. Brian was a lot quicker through 6 and 7. So Brian the Mechanic's managed to hold on to P6. Fazer obviously is a little bit closer, but not close enough to get that move done. Rufus down in 8th. He's got Grasshopper behind him, although Grasshopper is now starting to pick the penalties up as well. So into turn 1 goes Rufus, followed by Grasshopper carrying that penalty. Ninky down in 10th with Stealth in 11th. These guys are a long way off the well, that second bunch of guys. And then Sid, he's a few seconds behind Stealth as well, isn't he? So let's just have a quick look up at the top again, and Osman's still out in front in that Genesis. Love the livery on that. The colours are fantastic at the bottom of that car. So well done to Osman if he did that. If he didn't, well done for stealing it. But either way, I do like the look of that Genesis. Stormfly holding on to second, and well, he's just managed to stave off the challenge from Unforgiven, and got himself a nice little breathing space between the two of them. So that's how the podium stacks up at the minute then, with Osman, Stormfly and Unforgiven. But about another 4.5 minutes to go in this first race. So it really is fast and furious. Smith in 4th with Fitzy chasing him down. Let's jump on board with Fitzy, shall we? And we'll do a lap with him. So as we approach turn 1, you want to get as far as you can over to the left to try and straighten that first turn out, get across that curb. But again, it is penalties if you do cross those lines. Having a quick look behind us, there's nobody really to attack. So we're quite comfortable now, braking around about the 100-metre board into this tight right-hander, which is turn 3 Remus, and then you start down the hill then towards turn 4 at Schlossgold. Now turn 4, again, it is a tricky turn. You've got to get onto the brakes and try and cut as much as you can out of this inside apex before getting on the power. And you can see there Fitzy did it perfectly actually. He just got on the power just at the right time. In then to turn 5 and then into 6 at Raunch, hugging this inside curb, getting the power down, drifting out to the right. Same into turn 7 at Worth Curve, using as much of those curbs as you possibly can. And then we head down the hill again through the penalty zone towards turn 9, getting as far over to the left as possible to give yourself a chance of making turn 9, and then into turn 10, cutting as much as you dare off of that corner and using as much of the curb as Fitzy did just then without crossing the line. So that was a lap with Fitzy as we try and chase Smith down. Let's just have a look and see what everybody else is doing. Brian the Mechanic in 6th, he's still got Fazer behind him in 7th, and Grasshopper is, well, he's just about caught these two up. Now we know how quick Grasshopper is, so the two guys in front have got to be careful. We are 12.5 minutes, so 2.5 minutes to go as Brian the Mechanic leads this little group of 3 up the hill towards turn 3. Now Brian goes very defensive there, didn't he? As Fazer took the wider line. Grasshopper are right on the back of Fazer now, and side by side as they head towards turn 4. Grasshopper's got himself on the inside and just ahead of Fazer. So good move from Grasshopper. It was all about the exit there at turn 3, and Grasshopper got a brilliant exit. which has helped him pass Fazer, and now he's concentrating on Brian the Mechanic. Brian the Mechanic got some defending to do as we have 2 minutes left, so probably one more lap after this one. Fastest lap so far is Osman, our race leader, on a 1:28.7, and Grasshopper doing well, his last lap was 1:29, so not that far off the pace, just about a second. So we will go up and see what's happening up at the top. Osman looking very comfortable now. Got quite a decent gap back to Stormflight, as we've got about a minute and a half, well, a minute and 15 to go now. So you can see the gaps there between Osman, Stormflight and Unforgiven. So that, as I say, is the podium as it stands. Smith in 4th, with Fitzy just behind in 5th, who's got a penalty. So that's Smith will have a bit of a smile on his face, knowing that he's not going to come under any more pressure from Fitzy. Right in 6th, just managed. Oh, big complaint from the Porsche on the exit of turn 3, and then we were saying about that earlier. You've got to be careful with that turn. But Brian managed to catch it. Good car control from him, and he again goes defensive, tries to hug that inside line. Grasshopper trying to get up the inside, and I think he's done it actually. But now as we come up towards turn 6, as we go through 5 into 6, Brian the Mechanic is on the inside as they go side by side, and I think Grasshopper has just about got it done. He has. So Grasshopper now moves up into 6. Some good racing from these guys, especially no contact. Fazer's still in there. Fazer still fancies his chances of picking up a spot or two. And then we go down. Let's go back up to the top as yeah, we see Osman is starting another lap, and Fitzy crosses the line in 5th. Grasshopper, he's going to come across the line and take 6th, with Fazer in 7th, but carrying a penalty. Breyer's slowed down. Now Breyer's slowed right down just before the line, and I'm not sure what that's all about. Well, I don't know what's happening with Bry, but he's let Stealth go through, and Rufus in 8th, Stealth 9th, Ninky in 10th. So I'm not quite sure what's happened to Bry. He's parked up on the start-finish line. Siddy's going to come across the line in 12th, maybe even 11th, I'm not sure. But our race leader, Osman, just coming around turn 6 now, through turn 7, and looking very comfortable. Great race. He put the challenge into Stormfly very early on, set his stall out, didn't he? Let Stormfly know exactly who was going to win this race, and that's what he's gone on to do. As we come around turn 10, and got the checkered flag being waved in front of him. So fantastic racing from Osman, well done to him. Stormfly in 2nd, good race from him, with Unforgiven finishing 3rd, and Smith crossing the line in 4th. So well done to those guys. What a great race that was. Join me shortly for race 2 back here in Austria.